of all consciousness, I don't have to been on tour for Speak Freely has been in alignment with that process of just complete de-indoctrination.
De-indoctrination.
Yeah.
That's a new word. De-indoctrination.
We've been de-indoctrinating because it's toxic and indoctrination. So we've been de-indoctrinating ourselves, and really returning to the roots of the core of our power and choosing what it is that we consent to, choosing what we desire to agree to. And we've created that blueprint around Imani. And this free birth process is basically where our bodies know how to create life, whether you are the seed giver or the seed receiver. The seed of life knows how to grow. And in that knowing of the growth, it also knows how to release. We, as social creatures, do desire support. But when it comes to the actual birthing process, the body does it. And I know that I can feel in my soul that what feels mental health is so important, spiritual wealth is so important, and being in a position of where we are in a peaceful environment where we can be at peace and at ease. We've created a place and a space to where we can just be comfortable and allow my body to move as it needs to. It's a radical claiming of the body as a sentient, aware, knowledgeable being that knows how to do the process that it's been naturally made to do. We don't need hospital lights or the classic position with the scalpel ready to go and the fluorescent and the stress of a hospital all around.
Like I'm indigenous. I'm a native to this land, but I've been heavily indoctrinated over the past few years, over this lifetime, to fit into a system that says this is how it's supposed to be done. This is our ninth child. This is our first child together. And so, like, I've been a part of 4 of the births, and because of the indoctrinated system, I missed out on seeing my 8th child come into this world. And it can be very traumatizing when you're not a part of your child's life, or your child isn't a part of your life.
Right.
But I bring it up to the native and the indigenousness is that we did it before. We did it before there was hospitals. We did it before, yes, there was complications, but this is where faith comes into play.
Yes.
This is where setting up, having a faith-based team wrapped around Imani. They said it takes a village to raise a child. And who are raising the children if the villages are broken? We are children. We are inner children. We are both on the autistic spectrum and having Asperger's, and our village that's been around us have symptoms and signs of it as well.
Right.
And mental health, how you said, mental health and spiritual wealth, it starts and it ends with you loving yourself enough to know your body wants to do X, Y, Z. I know we talked a couple days ago, or was it last night, where I told you that our decision not to have this baby in the hospital is your choice. It's your body. I can't force you, no matter how much fear I may have, no matter how much of the programming that may be in, which I love you standing up for yourself, because then it ignites a part inside of me to be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna catch this baby. We're gonna manifest. And what y'all seeing in this rollout or listening to is day one of us manifesting a very faith-based team, a very faith-based items that we have the necessities so that we can usher in this child.
Right. It's very simple. Like when we think about my bloodlines have village and country in them, which I say that because I just bring up the point of the fact that our ancestors have been having children for as long as we've existed, and they didn't have hospitals and C-sections and all kinds of stuff in like the lower vibrational like village areas where, I mean, Jesus was born on a pile of straw.
In the rural areas, absolutely, in the manger.
And like our bodies know what to do, and we've been socialized in the society to need to go somewhere that has medical professionals. And don't get me wrong, like I do understand how having professionals and people who have been in the birthing process is definitely something that's beneficial. And at the same time, being able to know that there we're gonna have this baby whether there's anybody around us or not.
Absolutely.
It's very simple. We just need a space, like an Airbnb, and
a hotel. We talked to midwives and doulas, right? Because this is the first time that we're both doing this this mission and this quest. It requires information to be filled. Like I'm a scientist, I'm a quantum physicist, and it's like there's variables and then there's knowns, and then there's known variables that can shift. Once I got to hear from a professional that has delivered a child free birth wise, it started to plant the level of courage and confidence into, oh, this is all we need. Okay, well, we can manifest this, and in manifesting it, the more we see the picture and the more we see the process laying out, the closer it is to how it actually happens.
Right, because a free birth actually doesn't even have a medical professional or doula with you. It's just you, your partner, and whoever you feel comfortable being. Like, it's just you, basically. And
freedom birth.
Freedom birth. Like, it's the trust in the fact that the body will do what it needs to do, and that the relationship that you've developed with your body and with your child during that point in time will guide you in what you need to do. And, you know, being able to lay down and take a nap in the middle of contractions and stay hydrated and go underneath the covers of a blanket if you need to, or having access to a tub of water, and just being able to close yourself off and just really cultivate the environment that you need for your body, for yourself to feel comfortable, for you to be at the most peace and ease that you can be. Because I was just watching this TED Talk about what creates physical ailment in life, and it's mental stress. Mental stress is what creates physical ailment. And epigenetics shows us that when you have a child, everything that happens in the process of the womb growing to make space for the child and the process of the birth itself, it actually is extremely influential from every moment, every touch, every sound in developing the personality of the child. And having a peaceful entrance into this realm is everything for the mental health of the child, because the child is knowing that it can take its time to be exactly who it needs to be. The child is received by the family with gentleness and ease, and a full, unconditionally loving space where the child can just be birthed.
That's it. Like and as we speaking, this is why doing this diary, it helps us. It helps us clear out, and it brings y'all into our world, because we're doing this live so that those that are going to be doing this in the future, what if hospital goes away? Like, I got to see a woman birth with all those doctors around, and then all of the procedures after the baby comes out, and like I got to watch that, and it is traumatizing. And from somebody, I was traumatized in the womb because my mom was the other woman and she didn't know if she wanted to keep me. That causes trauma, or it causes stress on the baby. So when you started speaking on, I just want this child to come in as stress free as possible, I'm like, that's ultimate love. That is the ultimate love, because like I said, I deal with numbers, zeros and ones, in scientificness, but I'm also a shaman that has developed a very strong magical and spiritual connection. And your body is super for tough. It's super loving. It's super caring. It's super you.
Thank you.
In your earth. So like, we're here on earth, and those that are here on earth have a say in the unfoldment of it. So I'm excited. I hope y'all are excited. We're gonna end this and wrap it up with some breath work, if you don't mind leading us in some breath work, because talking about the baby, one of the things that I remember is they like, I'm here to help you breathe.
Yeah.
Or remind you to breathe.
Big facts. And before we wrap it up, I am going to, because this is a space of vulnerability, I am just going to share kind of a brief synopsis of where my emotional state has been at in this I mean, of course.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a complete. This is our first one. This is a complete algorithm. We're doing this shit on the fly. So I saw it in your face, but I'm like, yes. Okay.
Yeah, no, because the goal is to be vulnerable, right? It's like I know that the one of the main reasons that I desire to share this information with people is so that people can, when we share who we are with people, it creates connectivity, it creates relation, it creates options and opportunity for new solutions to be found in the ways that we navigate through our own worlds. And I know that I was really inspired by learning about what free birth is, and I just desire to share my story because that's A, something I'm working on, and B, I know that other people sharing their stories has inspired me to grow so much. So this process has definitely been interesting. When you tell people that you're building new systems of governance, it takes a lot of space. It requires a lot of space for someone to really accept that and be like, all right, right on, let's go. Like, most people are preparing themselves to be able to be ready to dive into that world, and we've dove in full into that world. And so you see the people in your, when you tell somebody that I'm actively building out solutions for creating new systems of governance, a lot of the people who knew you, I am attracting what the universe created for me. Absolutely. When you're sharing with people that this is your vision and that this is your dream, and the people who knew you and grew up around you and the family and the friends, especially if they're heavily programmed, they just, what are you talking about? And they freak out, and they're learning how to love themselves, because ultimately this is an act of self-love, to really go to the root. It's like, I choose to take full accountability of who I am in this world, and who I am in this world participates in systems of oppression, and I refuse to do that. So what does that mean? Well, we gotta create something new. Just like Malcolm said, like, we can't succeed within the parameters of the game that's been put in front of us. So what do? We make something new. And if I believe in being liberated, my world will manifest as a liberated world. So it's been equally difficult and easy, because difficult in the sense of where you're presented with a great deal of emotional challenges to overcome and become stronger in. And it's been very easy because the reason why we're doing it is based on that sense of self-love. You can always come back to that sense of, this is because I love myself. This is because I choose to really take full responsibility for who I am in this world, period. And knowing that that seed exists, knowing that that's why we're doing what we're doing, it clears out everything. Even though it creates a lot of opportunities for challenges to come in, it still, like, the reason why we do what we do is never forgotten.
Yeah, and we created a lot of challenges, like her parents, our communities. They indoctrination system has traps, and these traps are sent to make you feel a sense of security by the sounds. And I saw your mission when I first met you with Speak Freely. Like, before I saw all of the other stuff, like, it was dope because we were manifesting each other for this moment, to cause ripples and rifts within our timelines,
Yes.
so that we can kind of stitch it up. And this is where the vulnerability comes in, because, like, I know that having a child is one of the most magical things for a family.
Yes.
It automatically provides a whole slew of new bandwidth, and it's coming directly from source. So a lot of the things from finances to healthcare to the mental and health and stability, like, in this country, they want to break up the family. Like I told you, I'm indigenous. So, like, I deal with a lot of the village being destroyed and being moved from one country to another. And I know I chose this avatar to learn. Like I said, you're like an old white man. And like I'm like a auntie, a Monty, as Flossalino talks about. And in that, we're faced with ourselves with these moments. And the self comes in faith version and it comes in fear-based version. And I told you, I've been inspired about your ability to process our observations of the self realization, like, because that's all I'm doing is I'm processing energy all the time.
Right.
And we were just talking about this today. It was like you don't have fear, you have unconditional love, you have these things that normally it knocks people off of their square, because they're like, their square is tied into something that isn't as genuine, isn't as authentic, isn't as tuned into self. So like when I heard you say that you are setting up ways to supply systems of assets and resources back to indigenous people, and that you providing a place where we could throw up, I'm like, I throw up on people all the time. Like, and it says I spiritually throw up, I verbally throw up, and in our throwing up we caused a lot of rifts, and we've hurt a lot of people, and we've helped a lot of people, and in that I'm grateful.
That's always what it is. Gratitude, unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness. And it is no mistake, compassion does not mean turning the other cheek. I don't think that compassion, turning the other cheek, means when you turn the cheek, that means you allow somebody to slap you. It's looking somebody in the eyes and saying, why are you doing that?
Why do you feel like you got to slap me?
Right. Because we know why. It's because you don't love yourself. Right. But I'm a mirror saying, why are you doing that? As opposed to just accepting it like it's...
Yeah, and then walking away.
Yeah, no.
So I share... did you get to share your vulnerabilities?
Absolutely.
And I shared my vulnerabilities throughout this conversation. Like, and if we really want y'all to be a part of this journey with us, we're going to be rolling out videos on a daily basis. So y'all going to see a lot more of us. Y'all going to see a lot more of this belly. And for a select few, we're going to actually bring y'all into the footage of us having the free birth. I'm super excited, and I'm terrified at the same time. But in that, there's a balance between it. Like, if something doesn't excite you and scare you, why are you doing it? Like, why are you doing it? So I have a lot of breath work and a lot of mantras, and we're gonna end this video that was supposed to be 7 minutes that wind up to be 20 minutes. So we think 22, 23 minutes is a good time.
And we'll be able to work it down.
Oh yeah,
like, with practice.
Absolutely. So I told you, like, I'm very scientific. Like, we put out numbers, because like you're like, this is gonna be a short video. I'm like, okay, right. Yeah, all right. Like,
we just have so much stuff to share. That's why we have so much stuff to share.
And for those that haven't watched Gaia's, the channeling, the sounds, and then also You People, and for those that haven't watched Rick and Morty, I'm just throwing sounds out to share with you the things that we're sharing, and we're going to watch You People after this. So do you mind leading us in some breath work?
I would love to lead us in some breath.
And I'll end this with a prayer.
Absolutely. Spirit is life. Spirit is in the air. Spirit is in the breath. So as we inhale and we exhale, we just fill our lungs. Inhale and we exhale. As we inhale, remember that air has been circulating for as long as life has existed. So we're inhaling all of the wisdom of our ancestors every time that we inhale. So inhale. Exhale. This last 3 set of breaths, we're going to use the tone Yam, which is directly tied to the heart chakra. When we release the Yam, it allows our body to calibrate the heart chakra so that any confusions that may be in there can get calibrated to the sound of Yam. Inhale. Exhale and release the Yam.
Yam.
2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, release the Yam.
Yam.
Last one, inhale. And release the yam.
May we be well. May we be peaceful. May we be healthy and happy. May we see through the lies and see all the love, the loyalty, laughter, and all the hugs. Say, may our ancestors come into this place, fill our void with the empty spaces of knowledge, wisdom, and love and laughter that's quill. May we swallow the red and blue pill that's purple. So may our ancestors see the Urkel so we could transform because our family matters. So I understand that our family matters. So we cover in the children of our children's. This Tyrant Diaries is for our Imani Chi love mindset and the nation and village that we building around her. So may Netta and nature cover her. May it lead us. May it keep us at peace and at ease. And whenever we feel scared, may it give us the courage of the cowardly dog. Allow us to live and float down the river like the log. Tap into the elements of earth, wind, and fire, allowing our ether to get us higher. This prayer is for our ancestors.
For our ancestors.
This prayer is for our ancestors. This prayer is for those children that hasn't came. And this prayer is for those that given their life for the synchronicity of a authentic story.
Ashe.
And all of their ancestors' name, we say, Chi Oi Yit Ting Young Man Soi Tsi Ao, Ashe, Aho, and Amin.
Chi Oi Yit Ting Yin Man Soi Tsi Ao. Ashe, Aho, Amin. And if you enjoyed this, if you appreciated it, you could share it. If you could give us prayers. If you have any extra cash that you want to donate, baby supplies, we're open and in receive mode. We thank you so much.
Peace. Boom. Boom.